Alright guys, I don't know what keeps happening, but yeah, my camera keeps doing a hard drive buffer read error thing, recovering data. But anyway, so I'm getting into processing my liver down into hook-sized pieces, and you want them to be, I don't know about that size. See, the middle looks good. It's brown on the outside, nice and red on the inside. A couple of birds over there all Twitter-pated. So what I don't want is this, the massive tissue that holds the livers together. I don't want that in there because that's almost impossible to put on a hook. You gonna mess up again, camera? No? Okay. Well, I hope not anyway. See? Now this is a liver, this is a tissue holding another liver to it. I don't want that. I don't want that tissue there. I want the chunks of the liver without this stringy crap in between. Not sure what it's called, don't really care. Doesn't matter in our purpose here. So, pretty nice size hookable chunks. Let me aim you down so you can see what I'm doing here. So I've got a container, I got my little knife. This is the liver that's already cured. This is my work area. So here's a piece of liver, and that one's gonna be 3 smaller chunks. That one's a bigger one, so we're gonna do just 3 small chunks. I'm gonna reach in the bag of liver and salt and blood and get another chunk. See, it's like 2 livers together with this strange membrane in between that makes it harder to put on a hook. So let's get rid of the membrane and let's chop our livers up into hookable sized pieces. You want to be able to put just one on a hook. That's all you want, just one on a hook. So you don't waste a ton of it. Let's put our other pieces in there. So here's another piece. Some of them are a little thicker, some of them are thinner. That one was actually 2. A liver folded in half, it looked like. Let's make that one hair smaller. Because you can always put 2 on if you have to. So the recipe is you take 2 buckets of chicken liver. You add about 2 cups, let me fix this, add about 2 cups of pickling salt, which is what's on them right now. Then you put them in the fridge for 2 or 3 days. It's up to you, depends on when you have time to do it. It's not a huge deal. After they're salted that long and pickled, you don't really have to worry about it going bad really fast. Like this stuff here on this lid, that chicken liver that's already been cured, that's been in the trunk of the car in Wisconsin between 70, 80 degrees every day for 2 weeks. And it doesn't smell like, I mean, it smells it slightly, but it smells more like a garlic, a little bit of garlicky smell to it. Probably because I put a little garlic in it. That batch I did, this batch I didn't. So here's my pieces. I'm just chopping them up in little bitty bite-sized chunks. That way they fit on a hook, and when they actually get dry, I don't have to worry about having to cut them up then and having them crumble, because they're not the strongest thing. I mean, you can crush it, the salt comes off, but if you fling it really, really hard, it will fly off the hook. So here's a piece. Let's cut that in half. Just restocking my supply here. Let me get you back down here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I got this strange, I don't want that. It's actually going to get thrown out there so fish can eat it. And this is just pickling salt like you find in your canning pickling aisle in your grocery store. Just pickling salt. Now the coarse salt that I use for this is non-iodized sea salt. I don't know if it makes a difference if it has iodine or not, but I had it, so I used it for that. So let's get another piece and let's process it down. So that's 1, 2, there you go. 3 chunks from that one. Oh, there's a bunch of little bitty ones on here, okay. So there's another one. And you can make these any size you want. You can leave it as a whole liver if you want. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you how to do your liver, but this is how I do mine. Because I use hooks. Here in Wisconsin, we don't get like 100-pound flatheads. I think the heaviest catfish I've ever caught was pushing maybe 15, 20 pounds. And I've been fishing for 30 plus years. It's very rare to get something bigger than that here. So it's not, oh, damn it. I just shouldn't check the table. Ouch. So it's not really common to get something that big. So we're fishing for just edible size small catfish. So we're gonna go ahead and keep chopping this up in little bits. Throwing it in our bucket. So chop, that's a good piece. Chop, chop, those are good pieces. And you don't want it dry when you're doing this because, well, let me show you with one of these dry pieces over here. So I'll take a dry piece, and it chops pretty easy. But it's also pretty hard. I mean, this is like when it's completely dried out and it's ready to use now. This is pretty tough. The knife I got right here is extremely sharp. But once it hits this stage and it's like a bunch of little rocks, do you hear them? It's like a bunch of little rocks. Then it's more like stale jelly beans. Is the only way I can describe it. It'll still fling off a hook if you fling it too hard, but it's kind of hard to do that. I mean, I cast with these 2 bait casters. Well, that one's not a bait caster right now. But I usually cast with a couple bait casters, the big boat reels. And I don't have a problem with it flinging off the hook unless I leave it soaked for a long time before I try and recast it. So, let me finish doing this and I'll get right back with you guys. And this little pile right here is a pile of connective tissue and salt. So it's little tiny pieces of liver and salt with this stringy connective crap in between. It's almost impossible to get on a hook. And I don't like trying to do it because then you don't really get a good hooking on it, I guess. Alright, so let's get down in here and get some more. It's still pretty wet. There's a lot of blood in there. It was dry when I first put it in the bag, but it's actually the salt has sucked that much moisture out of the chicken liver. So let's keep chopping this up and I'll be right back. See, that one didn't really have much connective tissue. Let's cut off what there is. That's a good one. So it's got like the consistency of wet sand right now, which is fine, whatever, not a big deal. I do have a chicken heart in here somewhere. I got a free heart in one of my containers. So, get a couple out this time. There we go. See, there's that pile of connective tissue right there. I don't know what it is, but that stuff's stringy and tough. La 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 la. So connective tissue, get off of there. Make sure it all fits in my container. It might not. I might have to put it back in the Ziploc, but that's alright. I'm not too worried about it. It is what it is. That was a big chicken. Look at that liver. Holy cow. And this liver right now has been in the trunk of my car for about 4 days. And it just smells like chicken blood. It doesn't smell like rotten anything. There's almost no smell at all. And that's what you want. The blood, ugh, look at that connective tissue. Gross. You want the smell of the blood, and you want the smell, I mean, if you fish with rotten chicken liver, I mean, it's not like you're not going to catch anything. I don't like doing it because I really cannot stand the smell of rotten chicken liver. It stinks so bad. So there's a lot of connective tissue on this one. There we go. And I got a bucket of water. I think I can get a bucket. I got a minnow bucket in the trunk. And I'm gonna rinse the table off really good before I'm done over here. So that way I'm not leaving this big mess for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't want to sit down here and and then eat something or whatever. Because this is probably packed full of salmonella if it can survive in the salt. I don't know. I've never researched what environment salmonella can live through, but this is raw chicken liver. Ugh. Part of a butthole right there or what? That was kind of gross. A yellow tube. Okay, so I'm getting down to little tiny bits off of that. Get rid of all that crap. Oh, let's grab this one, and that's the last big one I got in there. So we're gonna chop this guy up, stick them, everything fits in this one container. And this container is reused. This was some kind of lunch meat we get at the grocery store. So, instead of throwing it away, saved it for my liver. Get these chunks off of here. That's not much of one, but I'll take it anyway. Try and conserve as much of it as possible. Oh, there it is. There's the chicken heart. Right there. Little bitty chicken heart. Don't know if that'll catch fish or not. Never used a heart from a chicken. Okay, some of these small pieces I'm just going to stick in there. There's no point in chopping up the little ones. So there you go. It's all been processed down. All that's left is a little bit of really thick, salty blood. This one piece of liver here. Done. And now if you really want, you can take this, spread it out on like aluminum foil or something, put it in front of a fan, let it dry for a couple hours. I just leave it like that because this is good bait too right here. That little chicken heart though, that I have never gotten a chicken heart in my chicken livers before. So lucky. Let me go ahead and clean all this up, and I'll get back with you, and you guys will be with me while we're fishing. See if we can catch something.